Hello and welcome back for episode 2 of the FM LLaMa. We are now firmly in the hot seat of MKS Chrobry, who are sitting bottom of the Polish second division. Not quite cut adrift yet, but I'm sure we'll see to that over the forthcoming fixtures. We've made some changes. We've appointed a new captain, so Mikhail Mikhailek is going to be leading the boys into our first fixture. If we just introduce you to how the team's been performing this season, you'll see that only had 2 victories all season. One of those came in the last game under the caretaker manager. So form has been far from delightful. And if we have a look at the victory that the caretaker boss guided them to in the last game, you'll see they played with a flat back 4, a central midfield 3, and the 3 best players, according to the coaches, are these 3 midfielders. Then these 2 number 10s and a lone striker. We've deviated from that somewhat, and we've gone for a bit of a revolutionary tactic. We're going to go into today's opening fixture with a flat 4-4-2. So although the best players in the team are these 3 midfielders, we're going to shovel one of them out onto the right-hand side. We're going to play Matthias Makaj as a right midfielder, as a wide midfielder. He can cross a little bit. His pace isn't terrible for someone that's 30, and he can work pretty hard and spot a pass out there on the right. What that's going to allow us to do is to get this guy into the team, Miloš Kozak, who's on loan from Podbeskidzie, and he's got a little bit of pace about him. He's not the worst crosser in the world. He's off the ball, and flair are okay too. And he was also starting to get a little bit whiny about not having any games and wanting to terminate his loan. So we were able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, change the formation slightly, and get his morale up by promising him some first team football. Means we've got 2 up top. I did like the idea of playing Nikolai Lebedinsky as a target man up front. He's fairly good in the air, he's quite strong, his heading's quite good, teamwork and work rate are okay for a target man. But I checked out the rules for the Polish second division, and at least one of the starting lineup must be below the age of 21. So we're going to go with Adrian Benediciak, who is comfortably under the age of 21. He's on loan from Pogan, and he is also rated by the coaches as our best striker as well. So it's a compromise that we're going to go into our first fixture making. So we're going to get the game underway. We're going to get the lads warmed up before the match, and we shall see you for the kickoff. So let's get into our opening fixture then. We'll have a little look at our team talk. Jakub Volny is just suggesting blanking the boys before my first game in charge and just telling them to crack on. I think we'll ignore that advice. Underdogs, and that suits us down to the ground. It's got an exclamation mark at the end of it. Sounds good. The boys not that interested in anything that I've got to say. Most of the players look far from interested in listening. Okay, let's see if we can just go by position then and get a little bit of morale boosting green on the screen. And then let's jump into our opening fixture. Nice orange stadium. Let's just pause the game for a second and just toggle some of these buttons. We will just change some of the notifications so that we don't have assistant managers whining throughout the entire game. There we go. And let's not get replays for every incident in the game. Okay, and we'll change the camera angle slightly. And let's see how we perform against Stal Mielec then. So we've gone very minimalist with this tactic. We've not added lots of team instructions yet. We're going to wait and see how this game transpires before maybe we change some of the team instructions we have. We've also got no personal instructions on for each of the players. So we're just going to see how we develop with a 4-4-2 and a balanced structure. And then as the game kind of starts to take shape, we might change the strategies that we're using a little bit. We've gone with an attacking target man alongside a poacher. Hopefully that will maybe make us a bit more of a potent threat going forward, because being bottom of the table, we need wins rather than draws, really, to try and get ourselves back into contention. Looks like a reasonable start, although relied on our goalie a little bit there, and he has a nice lime green kit. After a pretty decent start, it seems like they are now dominating the highlights a little bit. Looks like they have got a couple of deep-lying players in their midfield, so they might sit back and just dictate the play a little bit whilst we run around like headless chickens. Okay, relying on our goalkeeper once more, Chrobry. There's beating us for shots now, and theirs have been on target, whereas ours have been a little bit loose. Although approaching the half-hour mark, 0-0 is certainly not disastrous. What we might do is, if we can get into half-time 0-0, we might push on a little bit in the second half. Good to see the goalie shoveling over possession with ease. Is this going to be a chance for them or a counter-attack? Okay, given away a corner. We have set up some set-piece routines, which is normally disaster and leads to an avalanche of goals from the opposition. So we'll see whether that's proven accurate as the game ticks by. Oh dear, that is an industrial, agricultural challenge, we'll call that. Okay, we are starting to live a little bit dangerously here. Certainly not posing any kind of threat, because they've got yet another highlight, which I'm going to assume is not us counter-attacking. Certainly we are under the cosh here. I think we might need to... Oh, goodness me, that is high risk. Ooh, putting bodies on the line, to be fair. All right, cool as you like. I think we might need to just drop back to cautious, just to try and nurse us through to half-time. Oh, good. Won a free kick. Okay, that relieves a little bit of the pressure. Some pretty ropey ratings here as well. 6.3 for the left winger who begged for a game, and we've changed the system to accommodate. Nice for him to repay the trust. Okay, I think we should try and encourage the team. I think you may well be right. Okay, we're not doing badly at all. Well, we're not doing great. Let's give the fans a good performance. Let's give those fans a good performance. Good, the boys have not reacted to that in any way, shape or form. I feel like we need to make some tweaks for the second half. So I think we're going to have to push you on a little bit, because we're really not showing much at all. And as you're only a wide midfielder, we might give you a little bit more backup down those flanks. And maybe we should try and just close down the opposition a little bit more, and maybe try and launch some quicker counter-attacks, just to see whether we can be a little bit more threatening in the second half. We've also got these two players here who are really lacking a little bit of match sharpness, so could well be that we have to take those boys off in the second half. Let's see if we can get back in and grab an early goal. Okay, highlights dragging on a little bit here. Could be a proper highlight from the kickoff. Rabble in goal. Nice to see him actually closing down there, putting a little bit of pressure on him. Ollie Mazurs in their defensive roles. Okay, we're a little bit concerned at the complete absence of both possession and shots. I think we'll nudge it back up to balanced. Win would have been ideal in this opening fixture, but this team are in 4th place, so I guess a 0-0 draw is not absolute disaster. I think we might need to make some changes to these players who are struggling a little bit for match sharpness. Now, as we started with a player who's 21, it means that we can take off his strike partner, bring on the big target man, switch their roles around a little bit. This guy can play okay as a poacher as well as playing as a target man. He's not pacey, but we'll give him a little run out, and it allows us to get the big man on, well, the reasonably sized man on. At least he's got a little bit of strength and he can hold the ball up, and he's also got quite a grizzly beard about him as well. Might just frighten the opposition centre-backs. So let's see could we at least have a highlight to finish the game. Maybe a cheeky shot on target. You never know, maybe even one of these rascals might just sneak in with a late goal. Might need to perhaps make another substitution. So you have thoroughly let me down here. Who else can play? Let's get Banazewski on in your place. Not sure we'll be calling on you, even though you've been kicking up a fuss during the week. Oh, okay. Got the long throw set up as well. We want a corner. We have set up some corner routines, which traditionally in my FM experience are absolutely fruitless. Got our best player on the corners. Okay, well, that really didn't amount to much. Can we get the ball back into the box? No, it was a huge waste of everybody's time. Maybe that is a sign of what's yet to come. Is this a proper highlight, or are we finishing the game? They're in possession. Let's hope that they're... Oh, no, we'll scrub that. Come on, be a proper highlight. Come on, can we have one last chance? Maybe even force their goalie to make a save. There's the big man. Do like him as an attacking target man. Seems a bit better in the air than the youngster. Oh, come on, he should have lunged in. Okay. 0-0, not one for the purists. But a point on the board. Let's see how that affects the table. Shall we sympathise? I don't think we will. I think we'll say, we've done all right, got a good result. Let's just keep the morale. So that seems to... We were 4 points out of the relegation zones at the start of the game, and we've slipped to 5. So it looks like... of course, it's Tichy that a 3-0 win, of course. The team that rejected us in our first interview have now leaped ahead there, leaving us 5 points away from safety. But we know that the next fixture that we've got coming up is against the evil GKS Tichy, who have appointed, for some reason, Peter Novak rather than me. So we'll return for our next episode where we'll be taking on this industrial juggernaut that is GKS Tichy, and hopefully we will be rolling them over. See you next time.